Good evening and welcome back to the Goon Multiplayer Spectacular. Currently, RevenantThreshold as the Kiso Minamoto is fighting Sydin as the Kabuto Fujiwara. Sydin is up 1-0. RevenantThreshold is fighting for their life. So, let's see what's been bought. 2 bow attendants by RevenantThreshold, 2 Nagi attendants, 3 sword attendants, and Tetsubo Warrior Monk Hero, and a single mounted Naginata. A good balanced army. Compared to Sidon's quite large army, actually, where he's bought some monks. How many Nagi Levy? Oh, 2 regiments of monks, 3 regiments of monks, 2 regiments of Nagi Levy, his Tetsubo, 2 sword attendants, 3 regiments of Nagi Levy, and 2 bow levy. So a very, very large army covering multiple fronts. Now, the farmhouse is nice and close for Revenant, who is setting up, but it looks like that and the shrine, fantastic building the shrine, probably favors the shrine side this map, ever so slightly, and Sydin is not saying die. In fact, they've continued the pressure that they put on in the first match, and is rushing forward, although the army of Revenant is much better built to handle this sort of a rush. At the same time, they're just out of position. This is a poor angle to be defending, to still have troops coming around here like this. Really, the farmhouse needs to be abandoned, and the sword attendants, the Nagi Warrior Monks, sword attendants should be brought out wide and held, and these guys charging in is the correct thing to do. Although we've got no bonsai, and it looks like Sydin popped rally really early on those Tetsubos. I can only assume that was a misclick because there's literally no reason to have blown his rally this early. Hopefully it won't cost him the match. We can see that these sword attendants, lack of bonsai, however, will cost them. With no support surrounded by Sydin's units, they are just going to almost immediately shatter and provide very little. At least with bonsai up, they tie down the units for long enough that the rest of the army could get into position, hopefully keep the pressure on. With the general brought into range, these warrior monks are going to still have to grind through the sword attendants, but it's highly unlikely they'll be able to hold for any length of time. In fact, I'm not really liking Revenant's chances right now. This fight is probably the closest there is to an even fight, the Nagi attendants and the sword attendants versus the Nagi Levy and the warrior monks. But the center line has completely collapsed. These Naginata attendants have just given up the ghost. We've already got sword attendants into the general's bodyguard here, and these sword attendants are also routed, so it doesn't actually look like there's too much support left. These mounted Naginata, who are fighting warrior monks, looks like that's a matchup that's never going to win. And suddenly these Tetsubo warrior monk heroes come out of nowhere. I don't know why Revenant had been keeping them out of the battle. Perhaps they completely forgot about it, but they would have been absolutely invaluable as support on this flank here. The morale boost that they give as a hero unit to units of the same type, combined with the fact that they have bonsai, would mean that they would be doing tremendous damage to the Naginata warrior monks, and would possibly have allowed that to hold, although whether that would have kept the center, it's unlikely. But it just looks like Revenant has been unable to get their head in the game, and Sydin has just been playing absolutely magnificently. Every single move that Revenant has performed, Sydin has had a counter move for and has been thinking several moves ahead. It's spectacular to watch, and I really haven't seen this sort of Shogun skill since the earlier Yukitsu fights. So it's wow. I mean, what is there to say to that? It would be all credit to Revenant. They did exceptionally well, and they bought good, solid armies. The first round, the matchup was poor. Did exceptionally well with that matchup. Second round, it just looks like they got caught on the hop. They were defending in perhaps a less than ideal position. It didn't maximize the strengths of their unit, and Sydin just capitalized on every single, even minute mistakes, and just found the opening, and just tore the defense to pieces. And that's just well, it's fantastic to see. Well, yeah, what else is there to say? Fantastic game from both players. I've been thoroughly impressed. with both Sydin and Revenant's game all through the tournament. And while it's always disappointing to see someone get knocked out, at the same time, I'm excited to see A, what the third match has in store for us. They're always good fights. And B, exactly who's going to carry through into the finals. So, hope you enjoyed it, everyone. Thanks for watching.